Hey everybody, it's Nicole here, and I am back with another book review. Of course, we know that I am coming to you from books that you're not going to see out in the world every day. They're there, but they're a little harder to find because it is my grandmother's collection of wonderful books. Anyways, today's book that I am going to review is Whispers by Dean Koontz. One day I'll get this. There we go. One day I'll get that right. So, Whispers is definitely a strange book. It is a combination of mystery, thriller, some horror, a little bit of romance because everybody likes that. So it's got a lot in there. It was a pretty good book. It wasn't like punch me in the gut awesome, which I just came up with. But it wasn't like per se one of my other books that I reviewed, like The Gathering, which was really hard for me to get through in general. Whispers is about this woman named Hilary Thomas, and she is a successful screenwriter. We have to remember this is also not set in present day. This is set more like the time, which I can't remember off the top of my head, but around the time that the big chunky, like huge cell phones came out where you pulled the long string, like, hey, I'm on a cell phone, but it's not really a cell phone of what we would call. So she's a successful screenwriter. She lives alone. She's wonderful. She's your typical, not your typical kind of gal. She's not focused on making a family for herself or anything like that. She's just a screenwriter. She keeps to herself. And there's also one of our other main characters, Bruno Fry, who is our antagonist per se of the book, and he is severely unhinged. He's not all there, and he's very dangerous. And then of course there's Tony Clemenza, who is our kind of hero savior man of the day, also Hilary's love interest. So those are, like, I would say, the three most important characters in the story. The story in general is very weird. It starts off normal, and then there's like all of a sudden crazy, and then it just keeps unwinding from there. There's a lot of twists and turns, and sometimes I would read it and go, I don't quite know what I'm reading. One moment I'm reading a really sappy romance, and I'm like, oh, make it stop. And then the next second I'm like, oh, hide in the closet, grab the knife, something, like, run away. And then, the next second you're like, what is going on? Think. So it's very up and down. I definitely applaud the book, though, for making me have an internal emotional reaction while I'm reading it. Sometimes with books I'm just kind of like flip, and okay, finished. Usually when a book can make me have some sort of reaction, like, oh, why doesn't she do this? Why doesn't she do this? Why doesn't she do this? Oh, no, he's doing that. Oh. If it's anything like that, it's usually a decent book in my range. So for Whispers, I would definitely give it 3 out of 5. It's not my favorite, obviously, but it's definitely not terrible. It's very interesting, and there's also a hint of supernatural in the book, which I was not expecting. The book is just, I think that's what's great about it, is there's so many different things in it that you're like, oh, it's just a thriller. Oh, it's just a classic romance. Oh, you're like, just kidding, there's more to it. So that's really good. Dean Koontz is, I believe, still a very popular writer today. This is the first book, I believe, that I've read by him, and it's good. So I don't know if I have any more of him in my collection here from my grandmother, but if I do, I'm looking forward to it. Again, the book is different, and I think the supernatural adds a lot to it because it's just the way you see it is different when they start adding in that twist, and it gets to the point that you're like, oh, maybe it is a supernatural book, and then there's different explanations for it, and you're like, oh, maybe it's not, maybe it is. So just having that is a lot to go off of. The reason I would give it a 3 too also is the ending. I think the ending didn't do it for me. It was a good book, but then the ending just kind of, if you read a book and you build up and then it's the end, and it's like, that's a good book in my mind. The ending for this, though, it felt like a build-up and a build-up and a ending. And it's kind of like, no. I think most of it was the ending dialogue, which just kind of fell flat for me, and it was like, it almost went to cheesy, and I didn't like it, and I was like, that's kind of anticlimactic. And then one of the characters, I was just like, hey, did anybody check on that character? And if you read the book, you'll understand what I'm saying. I'm like, did we know? Do we know if that character's doing okay? No? Okay. So, it's very different. There's a lot going on, and it's crazy, and I can't keep up with it sometimes, and I can other times. So, it's definitely a book to check out. I would recommend it, of course, and I gave it a 3 out of 5. Just a heads up, I think we are starting to get closer to the end of my grandmother's collection. We still have some books to go, though, so we shall see. Should be exciting. Spoiler alert, I am in the process of now reading another John Grisham book, so I'm excited. But yeah, thanks for watching the video. Sorry, it was kind of a bouncy kind of review and all over the place, but that's what the book feels like sometimes. I hope you enjoyed. Remember to keep reading as always, and I'm also hoping to get another Advanced Society episode recap up for you today before I go to work. So, yeah, stay tuned. Have a great day, guys. Bye.